Yeah, so the big bubble, you can get it from the right side. Yes, that one. That one. The one which you pointed out. Finally, she did it. Okay, so it's up to you all, whatever, as like activity, whichever you want to post, only three. Now make sure that you are not writing any sort of personal things over there. Okay, so yes. Any doubt? Okay, any doubt from both the classes? No? Okay, then shall I ask some questions for at least you all to understand? Okay. So, what is Emnished family? Okay, yes, yeah.
Amnish family, so they are these two dysfunctional families which come in. Amnish family, they show very extreme amount of care and sharing. Also, there is no, as per my understanding, there is no normalcy in their caring. There's a lot of privacy hindrance, and there is a lot of caring, but it's not like the healthy one, the oversharing, the overcaring. And on the other one, I think the disengaged is the other part that we were studying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyone who wants to explain this engaged family structure, or shall I pick some name?
Ma'am, I would
Yes.
like to add up a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, it's something related to what Ria said. But yeah, family where family members have unclear or they have unhealthy boundaries and they overlead with, I would say, emotions and they overshare. And I think because of that, they might fail to recognize their own needs and wants.
Yes. And in Emnished family, also, I said emotion fusion can occur. Now,
Yes.
what is emotional fusion? Anyone?
Neglecting self emotions. You don't have your you neglect your own self emotions. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yeah. Neglecting owns emotion. So, what are the types of children who are coming from this, like this dysfunctional family? I want everyone to explain one by one. Now, what is the saint child? Who is the saint child?
A very perfect child.
Yes, Gauri.
Ma'am, that child, it is good at everything, and the family have high expectations from that child, and they suppress their own emotions for the family or their thoughts.
Yes, yes. Then was lost child. What is a lost child?
Someone who does not get enough recognition. They are mostly lonely. There are less friends, and they withdraw themselves. They make their own world around them because they are very much neglected.
Yes. Then is the scapegoat. Yes.
Scapegoat, also known as black sheep, these children, the parents are ashamed of such children. The parents blame their children कि कुछ भी होगा तो they will start blaming कि तेरे वजह से हुआ है. And बाद में, and then the children also become rebellious and they require validation as they
Okay.
grow.
Okay. Then is the peacemaker.
Ma'am,
Hmm. Yes, well, tell me.
So basically, as the name suggests, peacemaker, that person or that child would uh, rather, if there is a conflict going on, they would rather blame their self and stop the conflict than letting the conflict increase, or maybe झगड़ा होने से they would be like मेरा गलती है रहने दो, but don't please, let's have peace. I mean, yeah.
Okay, maintaining harmony. Then
Also,
is a clown.
sorry to cut
Yes.
you in
Yeah,
between.
yeah,
I think there is a pointer that I have mentioned here with the peacemaker one. So when you look at these children as they grow up into their adulthood, they are often, because peace is something that they sacrifice their own needs for, and peace is their priority. I also feel that in adulthood, there's a note that I made that they almost are like the partner pleasers. So they want yeah, am I audible?
in between your voice went out.
Acha, okay. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better like that.
Yeah. So I was saying that because the peace is their priority, and in adulthood, it's seen that they are the partner and they're sacrificing their own needs to make up the peace in their relation.
Yes, yes, they are mostly the sacrificer.
Yeah.
Okay, then is the clown. Anyone?
Ma'am, can I go?
Yes,
Yes.
anyone.
The clown, they are also known as Joker, the mascot. They bring out humor in a setting. They tend to diffuse their unhappiness with humor. Agar if they are feeling low, they wouldn't show it, but they would instead, use humor to cover up their emotions. And they they tend to have anxiety and depression later on in their life.
Yes, yes. Kushbi wanted to add something to this. Exactly same. Okay. Then is I forgot. Parentified. Yeah. Anyone parentified? क्या हुआ? Parentified, parentified. I can only read the lips of Khushbu is parentified and Valina's I was like parentified क्या है ये? Didn't I talked about parentified?
No, ma'am, actually, you did not. That is why I got
Okay.
confused.
Okay. So I don't know whether again it's written in the PPT or not. So parentified are those sort of children who are highly responsible. Now, like not responsible in terms of taking some sort of responsibility at a very young age, they take the responsibility of whole family. Now whole yes Ved.
Ma'am, if I'm not wrong, are they told, or maybe are they, मतलब it's like उनको बताया जाता है कि you have to act like adults, you have to take the responsibility like adults.
No,
Is
no,
it
no.
like that?
It's not like that. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
हम लोग होता है ना कि देखते हैं कि a girl of class 8 is providing tuition to class 4, 5, 6, right? So I would take up a case. I know a friend of mine. उन लोग का घर पे एक neighbor है. She is in class 12. A very high time for her right now. So when she was in class 6, she started giving up tuition, and she was used to work in a call center at night. Now she is in class 12. Now she provides tuition till class 10. She comes up with projects like writing projects, and I don't know how it's possible, but people right now need someone to complete their project. They are not responsible for completing their own project. She is being paid for all of these tasks. She works on Canva. Now she knows Canva more than the ones who are canvassed. Like I also don't know whatever she knows. And in the evening, then she attends the school, the tuition. Again, she comes back from everything. She teaches 4 to 5 children. Now 9, 10. Not chota bacha, 9, 10 ka students. After that, she goes and she have a small cafe. Now cafe doesn't mean a room where the sort of the moment I said cafe, kuch image we are portraying. It is not that cafe. It is a thela cafe, like a van, like movable one. She runs that with her one of her friend. In that thela wala you can get so many things like chai, coffee and some evening snacks. Till 10 o'clock in the night she does that from 7 to 10. Now again she comes back, she does her all her works like own studies, and from 2 in the night she cuts off the vegetables for the next day, so that before going to school she would be cooking for her mom, for her dad, everyone. And then only for 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes she goes for sleep. And again in the morning at 4 or 4:30 she gets up. She start with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then she comes goes to the school. So this is what parentified are. Now there can be some controversy that no, I'm working for financial thing. But there are other way also. There are so many girls I have seen, even boys also. They don't work for only for finance. In case of certain to support their family. This is what parentified is. And I forgot to teach. I might. So do let me know in the in the PPT whether the like parentified wala thing is there or not. Not that. Okay, I'll be including. I'll be separating a, separate PPT. Yes, Tia. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, while I was going through a couple of the notes that last about this is the third class there we are in, and I was just going through the notes, and I was trying to reflect on how when we see clients as well, so how we there is an interconnection between the dysfunctional families, how there is an interconnection between children of these dysfunctional families and the wounds that come up. So they all interconnected. So when you say that, when you have to understand the wound, give the correct activity, understand the wound, give the correct activity, understand the children from where they are coming and the family structure. So how everything is all interconnected within, just a reflection that I wanted to share.
Yeah, so see, what generally happens is that we need to understand what sort of activity you are giving. Now, when I'm going to talk about the wound, if I talk about the scapegoat, leaving the wound, if I talk about the black sheep, they are those sort of children who are always blamed, right? Now, what happened if you are like if you want to do some sort of activity, what sort of activity you all can give? No anger management because they are already in that phase that yeah, I get highly angered or I have issues with my anger. So what they are given, like taunt, we say na taunt dete hai that you can't do anything. So there is an activity which is called my beautiful taunt. Now, yes, my beautiful taunt. Taunt matlab tana. Now, if I have to show, okay, I would be showing it in my page. So it's an envelope, but generally we give a page. Okay, Ria is busy writing. She would make the note. Now she came up. So this is the page. Okay, in my beautiful taunt, what happens? We give a page to the children, to anyone, okay, who has issues with this thing. Now we ask the the child to crush the paper like this, to make a paper ball. Now the moment you are opening, the paper is totally crushed. It's not looking good. Is it looking good for any one of us? No. Now comes the role of activity. Now you are going to ask the child, especially the scapegoat, whatever Tane, she, he, they, them, whatever they can remember, write it down in a very colorful manner. And for this, we provide them colorful pens, sketch pen like blue, black, green, red, orange, whatever pens in the art therapeutic session you all can have. And then the moment, for example, 5, 6, 7, 7 Tane has been written. For example, you are right now as a healer, you are seeing 7 tanes has been written this. More can be written, right? Now you ask, what is the most beautiful thing about the paper? Now imagine I, in this crushed paper, I am doing something beautiful. How would the paper look right now? Huh? Mute.
Shabby.
Shabby. Okay, any other opinion?
Still crumbled.
Still crumbled. Any other thing?
But there are different colors also on that. In the crumble paper, there are some different colors. That
Hmm.
white, there are some different colors that are also seen.
So now how would it be looking? Crumbled, shabby, crushed. Wouldn't it look like a little beauty in that? After that, if the client, the student or the child is saying, no, Didi, it's looking still bad, I am not feeling well. Now you provide them sparkles, glitters. Now, glitters means that sort of like loose powder where the client can make something and stick it. And also, you are providing some sort of colorful papers like art paper, not the very thick one, which is very costly. I'm not talking of that. The very mild from scrapbook hota hai na, scrapbook mein color pages. You are providing it to the again to the client, and then whatever the client is making, yellow paper. I have orange, so it's a orange paper. Okay, now you ask the client to make something, art and craft, make anything. The client says, what should I make? So the moment the client says, you are not going to say anything, acha, make a house, make a tree. You are going to give endless option. You can make anything. Suddenly the client is drawing something. You give the scissor, the client cuts off that paper in the shape. For example, it's a star. Okay, I am drawing a star. Though I'm very poor in drawing. Huh. So it's a star. Now I would be cutting this star in this format itself. I would be sticking over here. Okay. Now I would apply certain glitters over here in the star. And I have or six, more than three, four glitter colors. Like not the pencil one. If pencil colors, okay, but glitters. Now how would the paper look?
Much
Colorful,
better,
much better.
colorful.
Yes, beautiful. In
Eye
this
catching, eye catching.
eye
From a
catching.
white paper, it goes to more of a work done eye catchy paper.
Yes. So what exactly is happening? You are teaching them that people would criticize you. No one would stop criticizing you, even if you are doing a very good thing. People would criticize you. But out of that criticism, you need to make something very beautiful. Now, does it make sense how you all are going to choose activity based on the dysfunctional children? Yesterday at 8 p.m. wala batch, I gave so many links like book links, drive link. How many of did you all open? Like expressive art wala link. Khushbu is like, Sneha opened. Valina opened. Khushbu did not see. हाँ, इज द लिंक, हाँ, उसमें बहुत सारे एक्टिविटी है. नाउ दिस वन आई मेड इट. You can't get my beautiful taunt because when I did it, my like one of my colleagues said me, Shraddhanjali कहाँ से लाते हो इतना यूनिक वाला एक्टिविटी? I said आ जाता है दिमाग से. I have so many paper bag story. पेपर बैग भी एक स्टोरी है.
Ma'am, also you shared after our discussion of expressive art, and you shared number, and then you shared the thing. So I think probably post this, probably I can look into it
I
about.
would definitely ask. See, if you all are enrolling for one, it would be little expensive.
Yeah.
But in a group of five, three or five, Archika ma'am is offering a off like some discount because I enrolled for expressive art therapy again and expressive writing art therapy. So art and writing art therapy is different. Though that would be my 12th session, like 12th course on expressive art therapy, because I want to explore something, something, something. And every organization provides something very unique, though no one would teach you my beautiful taunt because I was getting taunt and I did it. So this is my own unique activity. You all can, I do have a paperback story also. Dhire dhire you would be learning. Yeah, you wanted to say?
Yeah, we can also this client that I have, and I think it's somewhere I am doing inner child healing. I've started with this client, and there are some activities that I'm looking back and forth, and there are some activities that I want to learn, and there are some activities that can best can be the best suited for the client as well. So using this, we can also have what are some things that client is very comfortable in. थोड़ा सा modify कर सकते हैं ना हम इधर उधर, like the modification,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
as per the client's comfort, and like if he wants to do this, so थोड़ा modification के हिसाब से just wanted to check in with you.
You can even modify this.
And this time the activity I've done correctly, no? The one that you told.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. I was thoughting of doing this activity after won't, but I explained it to you all. You all can't do it, and you all would find something literally glittery out of that papers. So that is what my beautiful taunt is. And also there can be modification of paperback stories. I would be showing in a couple of minutes what exactly is a paper bag and how to do the paper bag story. Now, today we are going to discuss about mother wound. So, any yes, Khushbu.
So sorry to disturb you,
No,
ma'am.
yes.
I actually yesterday we did the Zen doodling and the
Hmm.
timeline activity. So my question was like, how does those activity help healing the children? Like how I did not understand the reason behind it. I understood how to do it, but the reason, how to interpret those things.
Okay. See, for Zen doodling, what exactly is happening? You are giving a page to the client, a paper, and the client is mindfully doodling it. Okay, and then anything. Okay, and then you ask the client, and definitely you have to keep in mind what is the major issue. So if a client of stress, Nikita, if a client who is coming from high anger issues, taking in consideration of the example of mother having, like father having sexual intercourse with daughter and mother taking the revenge. Mother, both after that, all the four family members were feeling guilty. But they somewhere is having a deep rooted of anger issues. So give the Zen doodling and try to tell him them that identify the big bubble. So over here, the what is the big bubble? It's this one. And lines. Lines, if anyone knows HTP interpretation, house tree person test. Lines, slanting line, vertical line, horizontal line, anything symbolizes relieving anger. एंगर मैनेजमेंट में स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स और साइकोलॉजिस्ट हम लोग क्या करते हैं वी गिव द टू ड्रॉ लाइन्स. Go on drawing line. Don't think about anything. Don't think about inner child, anything. Whenever you are angry, go on drawing a line. एक पेपर ले लो, go on drawing. You'll find your anger are reducing to a that level. Then you ask the client to decorate it. Now anger is like, for example, these are the vertical lines. And you say the client to draw something. Can be sun, can be moon, can be some sort of fish. Okay? Now, if a client is coming who is pretty creative, but somewhere due to mom and dad, the client has not gone through that level of creativity. You, as a healer, it would be your responsibility or our responsibility to tell the client, Abhi ye samay hai, do some creativity. So, from here, identify something which you can make a little creative. So, the client would be identifying this is the eye, this is the face, and the client would be drawing. Basically, inner child का meaning है we are not going to change the client. We can't change. For example, if today I am going, or today a girl of 32 years is coming to you, it's not possible as a healer that we are going to change the 30 years or 31 years, whatever had happened with the client. It's not possible. Okay. So what we can do, we can reparent. That yeah, I understand something had happened, but we are right now reparenting. जो हुआ है we can't change. But what we can do it right now, we can start modifying that. For example, when we were in schools, we used to fail. We used to have some sort of bad people, like bad marks out of 10 2, out of 50 20. So we can't go back to our school days and we can change. What we can do? The sense of guilty, because right now I'm feeling very guilty. That feeling of emotions, whatever emotions are right now, we have to validate it. And as per validation, we have to work with the client. Most importantly, you have to understand that you have to take back the client to that generation. Like, uh, is my audio and video lagging for everyone? Yeah, you rejoin it. I am not starting right now. The moment you rejoin, I would start. I am explaining Khushbu about the activities. So, what exactly happened? Our work as a healer is to reparent that. Then, see, in this video, I don't know in this PPT or not. Yeah, we have certain sort of processes of ICH, right? What are the processes? We can't tell that, okay, we don't have a time like time machine that we are going to take back that. But it's a sort of visualization, because in cord cutting is a pretty huge process. उसमें cord लगता है. It's not the cord which is attached to our mother. Okay. It's not that cord. It can be a part of tree, it can be a part of flower, it can be a part of anything. So it's a very huge, intense therapeutic modalities. Now, cord cutting as a healer, how you are going to infuse with the client? Client is going to say no. For toxic relationship, चलो ले लेते हैं एक example. Somewhere, yes, these are shared in the group, Nikita. I hope these PPTs are there in the group. All the PPTs I have there, Nikita. You just have to check with the group description. उसमें सब कुछ है, ड्राइव में सब कुछ है. So ये कॉट कटिंग क्या होता है? Some there are some people who don't want to come out of toxic relationship. Why? Any idea? The psychological issues. Why? For example, I'm in a relationship. For example, and for 1 week my boyfriend is ignoring me. I'm feeling bad. But the next week he is putting too much of attention, too much of care. But still I am thinking why he did a touch. I don't want to come out. And for next again 1 more month, he is not in touch with me. Why? But still I'm not being able to come out. It's a sort of toxic relationship then. Why it happens? Any idea? Yes.
And when I think, I think I have read somewhere कि जब एक एक रिलेशनशिप में अगर एक हस्बैंड है जो वाइफ को फिजिकली अब्यूज कर रहा है, बट वो उस टॉक्सिक रिलेशनशिप से निकलती नहीं है, क्योंकि वो सोचता है अगर एक हाथ से वो मुझे मार रहा है तो दूसरे हाथ से वो फिर मेरे वो केयर भी करता है, मेरी वो परवाह करता है, और फिर ये सोचे कि अगर मैं छोड़ दूंगी तो ये फिर ऐसे मुझे अटेंशन देना भी बंद कर देगा, और इसलिए खुद के ऊपर सहते हुए भी वो लोग नहीं निकल पाते।
Somewhere. But yes, Ria.
Ma'am, as I'm reading this, is it more like, is it also mentioned that the client should set a more boundary for a better boundary for the client to
I did
function?
not hear you. Your call went out.
I'm saying that, as it is said, the procedure has no actual physical cutting, but it's more of, it's more of the boundary setting that helps you kind of heal your energy, to help to heal your well-being. Is it more on the lines of that? Is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
The boundary that is basically built for your own well-being, or
So chalo le dete hain. This was for yesterday next class. So this is a chord. Chord can be anything. Okay. Now you can't cut the cord. I am not being able to cut the cord. It's just based on visualization. And you have to imagine this. And it's pretty powerful. Now I want to cut the cord with okay, chalo lete hain few of my so-called friends. So I need to take the name. Okay. Now what I would be doing? I don't have Caesar, तो staplerly ले लेते हैं. So, but it has to be with Caesar, okay? And in front of healer, the healer we have to teach the client. Now I am imagining all the bad things which has happened with my so-called friend. John Abraham. Okay. So what John Abraham is doing? I am taking up. Yeah, he insulted me. I am cutting one cord. Okay. He slapped me in front of his best friend. I am cutting the cord. He said me I am of no use. I am cutting the cord. He said me I don't look good. Again, I'm cutting the cord. Okay? Now what had happened? I have cut all the cords. I just told only three or four things. I have cut all the cord. Now you can take a glass. Okay? It can be a glass or it can be a cup, anything. Pour some water and keep that all the cords inside that and cover it up. What is the use of cord cutting? Anyone?
Can I?
Yes.
I think now that it's more visible after your creative explanation, it looks more like, as I said, the mental, it's more like your well being. You're protecting your own well being by maintaining those boundaries. Like when you cut your cords, it's more of how you can take care of your own mental and emotional well being by cutting that part of the cord. Is that am I understanding
Yes.
it right? With
Yeah.
the boundary? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And now, what is the purpose of keeping the cord? I don't want this toxic person to stay with me, but why I am keeping? Any idea?
There can be many reasons. If it's married, then I don't know. There are like so many reasons, right? If you're married, you don't want to like disturb your in-laws. If you're married, then you don't want to spoil the environment with the children, etc., etc. If
If I'm
you're
not married,
if you're not married, okay. If you're maybe if you're in a relationship, or maybe let's say if you're friends, right? If you're friends and you don't want to spoil that those good things or good memories or good things that you've already spent with the person, or many years of togetherness that you've done, so you don't want to like, because of this you don't want to spoil that. So usually sometimes people come up with these things, right? So maybe when you're cutting it, in the sense that you're making a boundary so that you don't get disturbed and your well-being is maintained. At the same time, the relationship is also there, but that particular part has been cut with the setting of boundaries. Am I making sense?
yes. Anyone, any other opinion?
So, kind of like what Riya said, it is more about the disrespect that you have faced, and you know that this is something that you will not take that from person. But you have that kind of relationship where you are dependent on them in a loving relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is, maybe friendship or maybe loving or romantic, any type of. It is just one part that is disrespectful for you. Now you have cut the cord, but the relationship still stays there. So maybe it's like that.
So does this act like a catharsis to to let go of the negative things that has happened with the person and to hold on to the positive, the good things that has happened? Like,
Okay, I would love.
Or
Yes, with.
I don't know if I'm right, not completely right, but if I'm right, but I have one more another perspective. As Khushbu said, there is a lot of dependency. Like toxicity का आदत ही हो गया है अभी. So yeah, I mean there are people. I have seen so many people around कि भले ही there is pain in the relationship, there is disrespect they've been facing, but अभी वो toxicity में रहने का आदत हो गया कि they don't want to come out of it because they are at least having that person doing things for that person. I mean the other person. So that's another perspective.
Okay, now I would like any other opinion? Anyone?
I just had one thing,
Hmm.
just like Wade said. Maybe it's because maybe in childhood also they had faced the same thing, that if I behave in a certain way and I do not cut as much as it should have been, so I will be in that relationship. I will have that person forever.
Okay. Okay. Anyone? Any more opinion?
So, ma'am, if we are seeing it from a childhood perspective, I think at that time there was no solution, or there was no way out of this situation. But here, at least by doing it, you are maintaining a safe space for yourself. it's more of an investing in yourself sort of a thing that's coming up in my head right as of
Okay,
now.
okay, okay, okay. So, any other opinion? Okay, so how many of you all think that trauma can actually make you a very strong person? Can trauma make you a very strong person? If yes, why? If no, why?
It is kind of subjective what kind of trauma you have been through.
Okay, chalo le lete hain generational trauma or very complex trauma.
These kind of traumas will condition us to become more matured, and they will make us to take up go through the so many cycles of depression. Then they will make us to be strong enough to cope up with the future problems it will come from the same problem behavior.
Okay. Any more opinion?
I think the more so there are some again as Khushbu said, it's a very subjective experience for each one of us, I'm sure. I think something that I don't know, I think we have kind of built a safe space for me to kind of reflect on my own thing. I would say that you build more resilience, you understand the pattern that you're following that is there. And for me, I think my trauma understood that there is a pattern, and this pattern, how it is unhealthy for me and how it is causing me more trauma, and how I can be more resilient, how I can deal with the current and the future one better. So it's building a space for you that you're becoming more resilient towards it, number one. And it's also helping you to navigate your way through these small little patches of your life. At least that is for me. That's how I see it. I see it more mindfully. I see things more mindfully. I understand the patterns that have been. Even if you see that there are some patterns that we very unconsciously follow, and when we understand these patterns, we're actually opening door for us to build that resilience. हाँ, ज़्यादा बोल दिया शायद.
नहीं नहीं कुछ ज्यादा. Any other opinion?
Most of the time being resilient is not possible, because the traumas will be when our emotions are weak, then only we get into those traumas. So more of the time we won't become resilient, but more of the time it will lead to depression.
Okay. Any
There
other?
are very less chances that these traumas will make us resilient and we become strong. There are very less chances, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Any other opinion?
Um, from like the examples that I've seen in real life, it can sometimes be both. Like at first, generational trauma can lead to resilience. You can move forward, you can become strong, you can do all the work that you want. However, pushing it too much can lead to depression as well. And it can actually break you to the point where you do not know what you're doing.
Okay. Now
I
what
think
a yes, Ria.
there there has to be a mindful steps taken both by the client and the therapist as well. So when you are doing trauma informed work, it is something that is very delicate. It's something that is needs more what do you say, like mindful steps, so that it doesn't go very extreme. And the steps itself has to do their own pace to go with.
Hmm.
I feel that mindful steps, I think, help with both.
Okay.
And
Now
it,
if I
yeah,
yes. Yes, yes, tell me. Okay, no. Now she's not going to tell. Okay, now if I talk about why we are keeping this, what it has to do with trauma. Now, as you all said, trauma can sometimes be in that position that resilience come up and then we are giving a fight back, right? For this reason only we are keeping the cord so that we are seeing that how we are growing up. Cord cutting, if you are doing a cord cutting with a girl of 10 years, कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. Girl of 15 years, कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. Girl of 20 years, फायदा होगा depending on the stability, mental stability, how well the client is. For example, let me give you a funny example. In last class, Ved said that I don't need a girlfriend. मेरे को अभी career में focus करने दो. And he's like, अरे मेरा example क्यों? Right? He said. Now for an instant in the Gandhinagar with Kurupa, he is getting a good girlfriend. And touch would nothing would happen. But if he is getting a girlfriend and after 2 months the girlfriend is saying no Ved, I am not into a relationship with you and blah blah blah. Okay, and he look at the face of Ved. अरे क्यों भाई? ठीक है? Now if you are doing cord cutting with him, it would help him. Now ask me why. Okay, the friends of Ved. चलो बोलो क्यों? Yes, Khan. Salman Khan, you want to say something?
Yeah, it will help him, ma'am, to open up and to share some of his problems with us.
Why it would be helping him?
Cause ma'am, we are his friends and we are here to help him. So if he shares something with us regarding that, we can advise him about it, and we can try best of our ability to help him regarding it. Cause
Okay.
we know him now better.
Okay. Any more?
No.
Nah. Okay. Now, Ved, tell me. Are you a very strong person? Like emotionally?
Mm, I think I am, but I would want Khushbu as she's my best friend. She can answer it very well. I would want her to answer.
Now, before Khushbu, I am pinging Ved. Now, look at his face. Now, being a student, being a psychologist, being a counselor, being a almost a 2 day healer, tell me what you all recognize in his face.
As
Khushbu.
in, yeah, I actually got cut up a little bit in between, so I did not hear the whole thing. Can you like explain what you were asking?
Okay. So I gave an example with cord cutting. Okay. So Ved is going to Gandhinagar with Kurupa. Okay. And being a criminal psychologist, he said me in the last class, ma'am, I don't need a girlfriend.
Yeah, I
अभी
remember.
मेरे को career पे focus करने दो, ठीक है? Now suddenly in Gandhinagar, if luckily Ved is meeting someone and they are becoming close. Okay, a girlfriend and boyfriend wala relationship. In a sort of very intimate relationship, and after having everything for 2 months or after 3 months that girl is breaking up with Faith. Now I said that cord cutting. Now I explained what is cord cutting. I showed you the process in a very shorter way right now. Cord cutting would help Ved. Okay, now tell me why. As I said, cord cutting won't help a girl or not even a girl, a boy of 10 years, 15 years का कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. 20 years depending on the mental stability, again taking that in consideration, but particularly I feel it would help Ved. Tell me why. Yes,
Okay.
रिया खुशबू जो भी बोलना है बोलो. हाँ.
Okay, so I don't know. This is my observation. I felt that Khushbu and Ved are friends. I don't know. I swear, when this call started today, I was like, you know what? They are friends. Something is there that they know each other. I don't know why, and it happened to be like that. So I think I'm going into. I don't know. I swear, I did not know that. Also, coming back to the question, I think. Right now Ved is like, oh shit, what are people gonna say? I don't know what's gonna happen next. But I think, as you also said, that 10 years, 15 years तब तक थोड़ा their There are times where when children are taught to regulate their emotions, but I think by 20, or at the probably I'm guessing at the age group that Wayne is currently, I think cord cutting will help him to regulate these emotions better. Is what my understanding of this entire scenario is. But again, it's also very tricky to answer this question because again, what kind of boundary, what kind of relationship, what kind of emotions are attached, and how can we help him to kind of regulate these emotions, build an acceptance, etc.
Okay. Yes, Kushbu. Come up.
Okay, so from a friend's perspective, I think cord cutting would help, just like Ria also said. Maybe it will help him to realize things what he had been neglecting in order to not accept that the breakup has happened. And it can actually help him to realize a lot of things, to like just cut off and finally move on in his life. Maybe he can keep those things in a bottle to remember what kind of things he doesn't want in the future. But right now, it is something that is necessary for him to, accept the fact, how it happened, what happened, and in that sense.
Okay. Any more opinion on this? Whether it's like मेरे को नहीं बोलना है. Tell criminal
I have a
psychology.
question. I
हाँ.
have a question. Has maturity something like maturity का कुछ होता है इसमें, like जैसे 10 और 15 एज ग्रुप में, as you said, उनको regulate, as Riya added कि regulate करने बोलते हैं, they are not allowed to share their emotions, and मतलब emotional regulation नहीं होता. So maturity का क्या है उसमें? Can you please explain a bit, like in short?
Definitely, definitely. See, a child who is coming from a background of lost child, scapegoat, do you think their maturity would be on that level? No. But a responsible child, parentified, hero child, they would be there. That is the thing. See, maturity and cord cutting goes hand in hand. For example, if I don't want to accept the fact, no, I can't have a breakup. Even after 6 session of CBT, leaving inner child healing, even after 6 session, my therapist would ask me, why do you feel? No, I need my boyfriend back right now. Abhi mere ko chahiye. There are certain points in like in this session. I myself have encountered certain clients. Boys are telling me, ma'am, I need my girlfriend right now in front of me. I said, Abhi kaha se lau? In fact, I have seen my friends also. They are fighting. No, I don't. I am not going to share my boyfriend. It's not about sharing. It's about accepting the fact that that person have moved on. But there are certain sort of instances where we as an individual, even we as a therapist also don't understand that, yeah, that person is no more with us. That is what cord cutting helps. Now, cord cutting, I won't say that cord cutting actually don't help people who are very like don't have a clear boundary. Cord cutting का दोनों process है. There are so many processes of cord cutting. But people with very strict boundary, people with very strong mentality that, yeah, that person is no more with us, it's difficult to accept that fact that, yeah, today I don't have my partner. It's difficult. But to that extreme for a person who with very strong mentality is not that difficult. And hence cord cutting for them within 2 to 3 sessions it would help. But for a child of 15 years, in fact 18 years, teens, as a therapist also, leave healer, as a therapist also, it would be pretty impossible for you to handle with CBT because they are no, ma'am, I need my boyfriend. Constantly stalking the partner, making fake Facebook, like Facebook account, stalking the partner, fake Instagram account, stalking the partner because my partner have blocked me. See, in this sort of cases, in this highly like emotional cases, CBT is of no use. But there are, unfortunately, there are therapists who says that CBT ka role hai. But what CBT, what sort of CBT technique you are going to use? That individual don't want to realize. Firstly, you have to be very compassionate with the client. You have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, I understand. Make yourself in that shoe, take yourself in that shoe, that what if your partner was not there emotionally, physically, anywhere, and you have behaved, how would you react if your therapist would have said what you are saying? That is the biggest role of cord cutting. And keeping it, as I said, trauma is a very good process of making you come back, a 360-degree turn back. Keeping this cord and seeing the cord grow do helps. Now I have given you the example with a like handkerchief. I generally tell people to use, basically at a very initial level, to use a plant and not a flower, because flower वो मुरझा जाते हैं, not a flower but a plant, because we are not cutting it actually. As I said you all, we are not cutting it actually. Now why plant? Because the moment you are putting the plant in that, and every single day you are watering also. Now why watering? Now someone, Ria itself, she mentioned that we are remembering the good memories. Definitely it's not also about the bad memories. Kuch hua tha, 10% good memories are there with this partner or with this individual. So we want to keep that 10% itself alive. No matter we are in touch, no matter we are not in touch. And there is a process of cord cutting. I explained in a very shabby way, but cord cutting was not for this class. I kept a cord cutting for half an hour separate class, because for that we need to sit in the ground. टेबल पे एक बेड पे बैठ के कुछ नहीं होगा. So on Saturday we are going to do the process, but before that I am going to explain. Saturday we are going to do exact cord cutting. Clear about cord cutting? I hope I was being able to answer all your queries, whatever you all had. Ria, B, you are clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Sorry to cut you. I
hmm,
think whatever inputs, whatever clarification inputs, I've written it down. I think, as you said, that it's a little confusing as of now, but maybe in the Saturday's class, maybe we can talk about it more and get better clarification.
definitely. See, the day when I did it, it was long back. It was at least confusing till I did my inner child healing in the year 2016. Till 2023 also there was confusion with cord cutting. Now imagine, because it's a very tough process, because we are not cutting. We are not cutting actually anything. We are just doing the power of visualization. That is the main motive of inner child healer. Inner child healer, as I said, it's not required to be a therapist. Just the power how you are explaining it to your client. This is what cord cutting is. But there is actual more diverse, like a more deeper process of that. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about mother wound. Okay. Now what exactly is mother wound? When, for example, we have often seen some sort of mother who are working 9 to 9, like 9 in the morning to 9 in the night. Those sort of mom who lack mothering. Now mothering means they are not emotionally, physically, they are not available for the child. Now I would show you a picture of a child. I did a art therapy, so allow me some time. Where is that one picture? This is a picture which has been drawn by, like, in the art therapy. Is it not blur? I hope. Uh, just a second. I am changing it. Is it blur? और ठीक है अभी. ठीक है. I am not being able to see. So
मैम बीच में ब्लर हो रहा है वो.
bleach में blur. What exactly can be done? Just a second. Appearance. Okay. तेरी. Sanfan aa gaya. Okay. I hope it's clear right now, or is it still blurred? Clear? Or shall I click a picture and send it in the group? क्या करूँ? अरे
Yes,
बोलो
ma'am.
तो कुछ. हाँ,
Take
clear
a
or
picture
not?
and
I'll click a picture.
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, tell me what you all feel that the moment you all are seeing this has been done by what is the age? 20, 1920. Yeah. Huh, I check it out in the group. Did you all get anything? Okay. Why so? Anyone who can tell me why so?
Ma'am, what do we have to tell you?
Now this is a sort of mother wound. Now why so only black? Tell me. अरे बाप रे, okay.
I think most of the expressive art therapy goes more of a projective technique, just to to find out the fears, the unconscious beliefs. Um, I don't know. As I look at the picture, it's more like the children are sitting next to the mom with a lot of comfort. That's what my first glance is, right?
Okay. Yes,
Um,
with
Seems like pain and sorrow, so that's why the one who had made this might have resonated with the darkness, might be like the pain, so that's why it is in black.
okay. Yes, Dr. Tripti.
I'm sorry I got late. I had some work.
Oh,
So,
yes.
so I just joined when this mother wound started a little early. So, what I see here is that child is with mother and sibling, but he's finding as जिसे बोलते हैं ना against the wall. कि एकदम सामने उसको कुछ नजर नहीं आ रहा है वॉल है सो कनेक्शन एंड कम्युनिकेशन का लैक लग रहा है
Okay. Now, could you all tell me what could be the age of this painting, like the actual client age? Yeah, you are on mute. 10. Okay. Any other opinion?
Maybe
Around
13, 14.
13.
22.
22.
Around 22.
Around 22. Okay. Any other ages?
I don't know the exact age, but might be like after 20, like more than 20 years.
Okay. This has been made by a lady of 45. Still, she is carrying the wound of mother, that her mother was working in a bank and she did not get the mother. So this is the brother. She interpreted after I asked her question, because in art you have to ask so many questions to actually get that idea. So this particular big wala figure is the mother, Beach makes the brother. This one is she. This is mother wound because she feels that whenever she needed her mother was not there, and hence everything black. She did not get married. Now the explanation I asked her, why didn't you get married? It was 45 plus, almost 46. She said, right now I'm getting my mother. I want to enjoy time better. And if I'm getting married, I have to go with my husband to his sasural. So this is what a typical case of mother wound is. Now I would share one more picture of. Now I won't share which wound it was. Now you, after completing father parent wound, I would ask you all. Just a second, I'm clicking the picture. কোথায় গেল? এই তো। এই ওঠ। Yes. Am I clear with mother wound? Okay. Similar is father wound also. Now father wound means where the father is emotionally unavailable, both physically and emotionally. You can't get the father. Like there are certain sort of fathers who works in navy. Yes, Dr. Tipti.
So I was just wondering, when you say physically and emotionally both,
Hmm.
but there can be mothers or fathers who are physically present but emotionally not available. So does that also counts to this?
Yes,
So
both
emotionally,
physical and mental, and it can be either or. Okay, do remind, acha, everyone do remind me of alcohol and mother wound. I am going to explain with an example. Now, in father wound, there is also a concept which is called cold father syndrome. Now, what is it? It is those sort of father, they are those sort of father where if you tell that मेरे को अभी 10,000 चाहिए, they are going to provide you 10,000. If you say I need 1 lakh for a course, they are going to provide you 1 lakh rupee itself, either in cash or check or GPay, UPI, anything. They are not going to ask you for what reason you are wanting such a huge amount. That comes under father wound. That too comes under father wound. Clear about father and mother? Next is parent wound.
Ma'am, what
Yes,
you
yes.
just said,
Uh-huh.
can you please repeat that once again? Like just the last statement which you mentioned.
Father wound.
The example you gave, money wala.
Okay, so there is a terms in father wounds. Particularly, there are terms which are called cold father syndrome. Okay, in this side, in this are it's such a syndrome where you see there are fathers. If you tell, for example, it can be your father, okay, who has issues with this. Now you are telling Papa, I need 75,000 to complete our. I need 75,000. Generally क्या होता है, parents are going to ask you for what you need, even if you are earning, right? For what purpose you are going to spare that amount. But this cold father syndrome is such a syndrome where they are not going to ask you. For tax say they are going to take out money, they are going to give. I had a case, a very celebrity, I won't say celebrity, father was itself a sorry, DG, some sort of DG wala rank. The daughter, she was a Instagram influencer, and today only she texted me, "Hi, Sradhanjali, how are you?" And hence I remembered. Once she said her father that I want to participate in a beauty pageant. Father said, "How much money do you need?" She said, around taking all consideration of the grooming of blah blah blah, it was around 15 lakhs. And the groomers were Bipasha Bosu, Selina Jeti, something of that sort. Father gave her all the three credit cards to her. And honestly, she did not take part in that. She did not take part in any such beauty event. Rather, what she did, she went to a trip with her boyfriend to Goa and she spent everything. Then she came back with by buying a sachet title, like a title wala thing, and she said, I scored, say, I got third position or second position and I am too sad. I need a psychologist. And by that way, she came in touch with me. So this is what cold father syndrome is, like celebrity sort of syndrome. Okay. Now, parent wounds are those where none of the parents are available. Only the grandparents are available. Now, the case which I shared in the very first class, that both the parents were not there. I don't remember whether I shared or not. My friend, she is right now an Indigo air hostess. Now, when she was in class 12, till class 12, she did not get her mom and dad. Mom was not working, but dad was a worker. So mom was a like high sort of person who used to lead a very like lavish life. Every single day she used to host party in Kolkata itself. For that reason, she was neither there from morning to night, nor she used to pay attention to her. So the only availability was her grandparents. And the moment her grandparent died, I remember now she is not an air hostess anymore. Uh, she took some medicine. I forgot the name. She said me the name. Like basically, the medicine was to reduce the anxiety issue because every single day she was getting the dream of her grandparents. After 3 years in her aviation line, she committed suicide because in the flight itself she saw some grand like geriatric population who was as similar as her grandparents, and she could not take the pain because the siblings was insulting the grandparents, and she committed suicide over there itself. Now her mom and dad is completely different, definitely, but this is a parenthood case where neither of the parents are available. Similarly goes for grandparents wound, when neither of the grandparents, mom side, dad sides also, neither of the grandparents are available. होता है ना that before, like if you are born होगा, like before our me borning, I did not, I saw only two of my grandparents. Father side father, mother side mother, and neither, so I don't have a connection with other two grandparents. But ऐसा भी बच्चा होता है that they are not getting the parents like grandparents because before they were born the grandparents died. That is not wound, but the moment they are born and after a sort of solid attachment, intimate attachment, like emotionally, the parents dies off, or the parents are giving the grandparents in the old age home. That is also grandparent wound. Same goes for brother wound and sister wound, where not the brother, not the sister are available. Like if a single daughter is there or single son, that is not wound. But for example, today if I'm having a brother, and when I am in graduation, I remember my sister went abroad to study. So that was for me, that was my sister wound because I used to miss her. So parents wound, family, and there can be similar sort of term which is called family wound, when neither like sister, brother, parents, grandparents, cousins, no one is available. Okay. Now I have forwarded a picture in the group. Which class will the process? Inacha, I did not get your query. You can, like, I did not get, but if you are talking about the cutting cord wala thing, I would start on Saturday. Cord cutting. So by seeing this picture,
The
tell me.
classes are
Huh,
for 6 days, no, ma'am.
I did not hear you. So sorry.
Ma'am, we haven't started the inner healing process, but the classes are only for 6 days, no?
I'll start. I'll start a little process today, and the more intense process would be on Friday and Saturday. Saturday
Okay.
would be a like cord cutting process, which I showed just now.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, by seeing this, tell me what sort of wound I have given in the group. Tell me what sort of wound it is. And one more picture, I think. Yes, Ria, tell me.
Ma'am, it looks more like a house, not a home wound.
Okay. Okay. Any other? So, what wound would you tell?
No presence of emotions and no presence of nothing, like there is, and there is just nature around.
Yes. So,
So
what
the
wound?
nature
Like father, mother, parents, sister, grandparents, family.
family.
Ma'am,
Parent.
I feel father won, I guess,
Okay.
because yeah, lack of emotional warmth and closeness, it feels like.
Okay. And what could be the age of the child who drew this?
Has to be
Maybe
a
6 to
child.
10.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
6 to 10. Okay, I'm writing it. 6 to 10. And any other opinion?
I'm not going to contradict with the age this
Okay.
time because I think it's very subjective and it
Now,
can.
approx, what could be? It's just a process of learning. Tell me.
I'm not contradicting anything.
Okay. Yes, Dr. Tipti?
ma'am, it can be
So
12.
14, 15, and parent wound.
14, 15. Okay, Gauri said 15 to 20. Yes, Neha?
Ma'am, 8 to 12.
10 to 12. Okay, any more? Now, whoever said like 6 to 10 was being by red, all were wrong. This was being drawn by a girl of 38 years old, a corporate worker, TCS worker. Rather, I would be very specified. She works in TCS and her monthly income is 80,000. And this is family wound. Only the like family means only house is there, and besides her house, and she is from Assam. So mountains, water like river, tree, and this is the house, and no one is there.
Did we do family wound? वो तो मैंने नहीं देखा.
Yes, I spoke about family
So
wound, sister wound.
I think that my no like I didn't guess the age because I was playing safe, but my house home thing was right because I
Yes,
knew that in inner child healing concept somewhat I feel is not more of age, is more of the later times when you're going back and reparenting. So I think keeping
yes,
that in mind is very important.
yes. It's pretty in that sort. Now tell me what sort of wound it is. It's not visible. Just a second. I'll ping this. अरे कोई गेली. Picture. Is it visible? Oh, my screen is being shared over there. Just a second. I'll stop it. সব ভুলভাল হয়ে যায় দেখা থেকে. Okay. Okay, now I'll ping over here and tell me what. And this time also you have to gauge the age. Yes. Father. Any other opinion other than father?
Maybe a sibling wound. They went away from home.
Okay. And
Maybe a mother wound.
why mother?
Uh,
This is a
Wait.
case of father wound. Like father is a navy officer. Now guess the age. Father was a navy officer, so that it's pretty easier for you all to guess the age.
30 to 40.
30 to 40, ओके. अभी वैलेंटिना ने कहा अभी थोड़ा बहुत लगा देती हूँ. एनी अदर? By seeing this picture again, anyone who says that is 5 to 10?
11, because
11.
11 birds are made there.
Yes, birds are myth. Father was a navy officer. Someone may put 35 to 45. ओके. अभी रिया ने कुछ बोला फाइनली. 42 to 45. Okay.
Around 40 to 50.
40 to 50. Okay. 62 years, and he was also an ex army officer. 62. Riya is like, अरे क्या हुआ? कुछ नहीं लगा मेरे. So this can be a trauma also. But basically, this was of inner child only. Yes, Kushbu wanted to say something. I think that would be pretty easier for you all. কোথায় গেল? Uma. This was in a session, like in a workshop. Yes, this was in a workshop, like before Durga Puja. And this was also a case of wound. Now, any idea what wound?
Motherhood.
Mother,
Yes, mother wound.
mother
Clear cut
wound.
mother wound.
Mother wound.
Age.
What a beautiful piece of art. I'm just admiring that first in the beginning.
Our 40. अरे बाप रे, राजस्थान
35,
में तो बोल दिया our 40.
35,
हाँ?
35, 30, 30.
35. Okay. I am
Ma'am,
sharing the picture. Yes.
there can be a lot of representing of this, you know. A mother won't have, but uh, it's more of Durga Puja. So maybe the child is resonating mother to be goddess and uh, love affection वाला wound भी रह सकता है. बहुत
Okay.
कुछ interpretations आ सकते हैं
I'll
इसमें.
share the picture of the girl who did this. Now the mother, she is a nurse. Okay, and the explanation what she said me, I did a workshop on inner child healing and offline workshop in Kolkata. So the basic thing was that she said me every single day, because my mother is a nurse, my mother is a Durga, because my mother saves so many patients. And I am sharing the picture of that girl. And I thought of giving this picture in our association. कोई गलो.
I'm
Okay, what?
loving today's class.
Just a second. I'll share. Yeah, I'll give. Yeah, I have shared the picture. And this is the girl who did this. And she is only 14 plus. So this can be the level of inner child healing. Clear about all this? Okay, I'll share this screen again. Now she is not 50, she is only 14 plus. Now art is very subjective because if someone says, okay, if someone says me to draw something, I would be drawing like a 5 years old boy or a 5 years old girl, and my DAP would be at that level. Clear about all the wound. Now this wound, I'm going to come to the process. कोई गलत, हाँ. Now you all need to understand this wound in a very proper manner. Okay. Now guilt wound. Now I would ask you all after this that which sort of childhood can come up from which wound. Okay. Not only me, David sir would also be asking. Now guilt wound. Now by the name guilt. Okay. We can understand these are those sort of child who always feel sorry or who always would be telling so sorry, so sorry. They are pretty, they feel guilty if, even if, for example, if they are lying for their own benefit, they'll do like this namaste wala posture and they'll say I'm so sorry, never again I would do, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, and every single second he would be asking sorry. Now which sort of dysfunctional child is this? Yes, Ria.
The scapegoat.
Yes, scapegoat, black sheep. Now why? Because they have seen themselves, they were in that field that their parents used to blame them, and hence they this are coming up. Clear about guilt wound. Next is abandoned wound. Now abandoned wound is such a wound where fear of rejection is there. They are highly dependent. Codependency is a major factor in abandoned wound. Which sort of personality disorder is this? C. Yes, which one? In C, which one? Dependent personality disorder. Again, which sort of child is this? They are highly dependent. So, which sort of child is this? Yes, Rajesh, tell me.
I'm lost child.
Any other opinion? Who feels the peacemaker?
Mascot?
Mascot. Okay.
Ma'am, I felt peacemaker, but I did not say because I thought it might be wrong. But I don't know, but just felt like it might
It
be.
can be all the three. Peacemaker also.
Yes, ma'am. Also, I have been having such a case right now, and this abandoned wound and neglect wound is very prominent. So, from my experience, I feel that it's more of mascot because to kind of suppress the pain, the humor, jokes are on a higher. That's what I feel, and I think it's a combination of all. I feel the
Mhm.
loss we have.
Yes, yes. So whenever this sort of children are coming, try to figure out the level of trauma. What sort of trauma did they have and what is the intensity? Now anyone, as I said, who can do HTP interpretation, who knows how to interpret HTP, you can figure out the level of trauma by the tree trunk. Next is trust wound. Again, it's a very big concept where trust wound means lack of insecurity. A feeling, not lack, feeling of insecurity. They can't trust anyone. Now they have issues with, okay, that I would be coming. Now trust wound is where they can't trust anyone. The only way in which they can trust is their primary caregiver. If, for example, I have this trust wound, I would be looking up to the fact who is my primary caregiver. It can't be both, like mom, dad, grandma, grandfather, cousins, 30 members in my family. So, not all the 30 members in my family. So, only one. And this trust wound individual or this sort of children, they would be going to that particular person who they trust the most. Others, they won't. Now, in this trust wound, believe me, if you are using the power of miracle questioning, it works wonder. Any questioning, because the moment, see, all this activity, I said, as I said in the earlier two classes, that the moment you start with activity, you have to have that ample amount of information of the client. Otherwise, you can't use because you don't know what exact question you are going to ask. So you have to know what sort of issues the client is having, what is the details, and blah blah blah. That the moment you can hit the question of, like, hit the power of miracle questioning, it would do wonder. Now with trust wound, I don't know, it's not there. Again, there is another wound as similar as trust wound is betrayal wound. Betray, dhoka dena. I'll tell a case of mine, not a case, it can be my friend. He is right now a director, film director. And I had a crush on him. He had also a crush on me, and it was during our school 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, graduation first year. Graduation second year में कुछ नहीं था, third year पे फिर आ गया. So it was a very dama wala thing. Now he had a issue with me, that is also trust wound was there. Now how majorly betrayal wound was there, he had issues with I being rejecting him. No sort of issues were there. My mom and dad was also okay with him. I was comfortable with him. Now the thing is that he did not want to come to a commitment. कोई कमिटमेंट नहीं होगा. I said fine. I was also okay with that because at the time I was in my graduation third year. I knew some sort of wound because our HOD, she was bit friendly and she used to give extra knowledge when I was, or the whole class was free. So one single day, this I won't say boyfriend definitely, but some sort of my friend, a best special friend, I was calling him, and that time no WhatsApp was there, only Facebook was there, but that too, no iPhone was obviously there, but a chota wala phone was there with me. I was constantly calling him, and he did not receive the call, and suddenly he texted me a normal SMS. Sradhanjali, today I'm traveling. I'll call you after 3 days. I said, fine, not an issue because I knew that he was in some other like area and he would work on that. Now one of my college friends, she had a very good tablet that time because both the mom and dad were working and she was a very gone child of them, and she had, and suddenly she said me, suddenly now see your special friend, he is with your best friend. So I said, with my best friend, how? Then the full video was there, full picture was there. Then the moment I encountered him, I went to that hotel. It was a hotel where they were there near that college. And I encountered him. That why you are here, you said me. No, I did not give you the commitment. I still remember the words he used. No, Shraddhanjali, I did not give you the commitment that I am always with you. I need someone for my refreshment. And this lady, she was my best friend. She was the refreshment of my special friend. Basically, a case of betrayal wound. They have issues with commitment. Why? Because they would betray others. And that is the normal tendency. Now, could you all tell me what sort of dysfunctional family they would have come from? Very strict rule, disengaged. Mom and dad don't have a very clear rule. If even they are having a very clear rule, it's very strict. You have to obey that. And what sort of child it was? Anyone? What
Lost child.
lost child somewhere aligned? Do you all remember I used the word ultra independent? In Mudani Monohai. No, it's not there over here. It's in part 1 PPT. Remember ultra independent I used? Which one was that? Forgot? Yesterday, I think yesterday's class I did it. Yes, Ria.
And the dismissive avoidant attachment styles, dismissive avoidant, where they try to avoid situations and confrontation, and it's kind of similar in your case as well, the one that
Hmm.
you.
Yes. I hope you all are being able to relate the wound with the types of dysfunctional family and the types of child coming up from dysfunctional family. Everyone? No doubt over here? Okay. Next one, what is that? Okay. Next one is abundant. Abundant are those sort of individual who have fear of rejection and they are highly dependent. A sort of codependency. Now, what sort of dysfunctional child would it be? Codependent on all the parents, like both the parents and the caregiver. सब भूल गया. Valina, what sort of children?
Can you repeat what you said? Like
Uh,
abandonment wound we have done. What did you say?
I say what sort of dysfunctional children would be having this abandonment wound?
Mm,
This abandonment.
scapegoat, the black sheep ones.
Yes. Yes. Next is the neglect wound. Now, neglect wound means in both the types. Number one type would be they are neglecting each and everyone, and hence a result, everyone is neglecting that individual. Neglect wound. They have issues again, it can be on others' perspective also. They have issues in like they struggle to let the thing go. For example, the relationship example, I need my partner right now. I can't imagine my partner is not there with me. How can he reject me? How can he neglect me? He have to reply back to me. These are those sort of wound, neglect wound. Any idea which sort of children would be from this background?
Lost child.
Okay, lost child. And how many of you all think it could be the peacemaker? No one. Okay. The saint child, that is the hero child. Okay. Rajashri, want to say something? Oh, okay, okay. Hatothan. Okay. How many of you all think that neglect would be the parentified night now? Parentified one?
Huh?
Neglect at
And
one. Yes.
I feel that it could be both because parentified, because uh, the child is very scared of the neglect,
Hmm.
right? The child suffers from a lot of struggles and neglect and has not got that amount of safety, security, emotional,
Hmm.
physical. So they have been just doing the responsibility on their own. But I also feel that it's a combination of lost child. It's a combination of black sheep as well. I
Why
feel
black sheep?
neglect because it's always there are the emotions and the emotional needs are not met, the physical needs are not met, there is always a fear, the neglect is the fear, right? So I feel that because things happen because of them, they are always blamed, they are always like tere wajah se hua, etc, etc. So the neglect is the main concept here for them, like they don't want to feel that way. So I'm seeing a client on similar
Okay.
lines.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it can be. It can be. I did not give a thought to this, but yeah, your explanation is pretty justified. Now there are three, one, two. Yeah, three more. The first one is it's a pretty new concept. Now I did not give it in the PPT because it's new. This is the older version of PPT, but I would be revising it and I would be again adding the resource material. The very first new one is the shame wound. Now, what is shame wound? This sort of individual have issues with their self-esteem. And how many of you will know the Eric Erikson theory of toilet training? Ah, tell me
That
what is the shame?
was shame versus autonomy.
Yes,
Yeah.
from there the shame wound comes up. Now, I would say a case, not it. I can't call it as a case, but a friend of mine. We were in class 10 before the Hindi ICSC exam. I remember she like during the exam only she started her menstruation. Okay, now the moment she realized that she was menstruating and the skirt was white and the spot would come up, she started crying over there. Then and there she started crying in the whole seminar house with the 45 student was also looking at her, and then she realized what the hell we did, and for that she was feeling shame that I wouldn't have cried, I wouldn't have menstruated. And then I remember, I don't know what happened after that because we went out after giving the exam. Then for geography and history she was not being there in the exam hall because of the feeling of shame that yeah, people saw her crying. This is what shame wound is. Clear of shame wound? Shame wound can again come up in certain cases. If anyone works as an infertility counselor, you can see people like, I would say people only, the couples who are not being able to conceive, both primary infertility and secondary infertility. Now, what is primary infertility? Primary infertility is those the parents are not like the couples are not being able to conceive even for the first time. And secondary infertility are those where they have a first child. For the second time, they want to conceive, but unfortunately, they are not being able to do. Gynecologists get all these cases, like the shame wala in this spectrum. Now, shame also can happen with multiple IVF fail. If anyone have heard of the TEDx, not TEDx, the recent podcast of Debolina Banerjee, she is a celebrity. She said multiple, that is 12 to 15 circles of IVF has failed. And then she opted for IUI. But she did not mention that she opted for IUI. She said that only the 16th cycle was successful. But the gynecologist who did, she said that it was IUI she then opted for. It's not only IVF. Now I understand you can ask me what is IUI. IUI is intrauterine insemination. It's almost similar to IVF, but there are differences in the ejection of sperms and everything. Now I don't know in the last class who texted me that Shraddhanjali, in the cup what you drink. It's my black coffee. So it's not wine, it's nothing. I don't know who texted me or Tanya. Tanya was like, Shraddhanjali, please class mein bol dena that you are drinking coffee and not wine. I said, why? She said that, I don't know, me or Tanya. Roma replied. I remember Roma said also. So it's a cup of black coffee, like karwa wala black coffee. Yes, dear.
Uh, Ma'am, with due respect to the question, but isn't it a bit of a breach of boundary, ethnic breach? Like it's आपका comfort level. I mean,
No,
obviously,
actually,
you
what
don't
happens,
have
I'll
to.
tell you what happens. I am highly addicted to coffee. Like, if I'm not having a coffee minimum, I'm talking about minimum 4 cups in a day, I can't work. And it's not only in this batch, in all the batches. Council India wala batch, HRO wala batch, everyone. Suddenly, what you are drinking? Each and every class I see you are drinking. I'm like, it's my black coffee. So it's out of curiosity also I take it. I understand for what purpose you said, but just for clarification, it's my black coffee, not wine. The one who wrote and she or he, I don't know, forwarded a symbol of wine glass. I said, no, no, in class I don't drink wine. So again, I understand. Okay. Then is rejection. Now rejection wound are pretty similar to trust wound and neglect wound also. Okay, in this sort of rejection they have issues with self. Now rejection means I can reject anyone or anyone can reject me in both the ways. They are, and this rejection people, they are highly sensitive toward criticism. They can't tolerate. So this is what like wounds are. Clear about the wounds? Now tell me, if I talk about the shame wound, what sort of childhood, like child are coming from shame wound?
Scapegoat.
Scapegoat, yes. One more.
Mascot.
Huh? Mascot. Mascot can't, because mascot are those sort of child who are the clown. So they won't feel shame for anything.
Lost child.
Lost child also, yes. One more. Three are there. Peacemaker. I said in the class that I had a case where the child used to feel shame that others are hearing that the parents are fighting. So shame, and then betrayal. What sort of, sorry, rejection. Rejection. Mute.
Scapegoat.
Yeah.
Scapegoat. And
And lost child.
Lost child, ma'am, because they are always on, because it's the withdrawing from their family struggles, right? So
yes,
the
yes,
lost child.
yes, yes. I hope I'm being clear with the inner child, all sort of inner child. Don't worry. These three are pretty new. Like, I won't say new, but they are Western cultures. So I would include in a separate PPT I would be sending. Any doubt? Yes, Kushbu.
Yeah. Ma'am, I was reading the guilt wound
Hmm.
paragraph, and
Hmm.
in the pointers, there is a point that uses guilt to manipulate.
Hmm.
So, how do they use the guilt to manipulate in the guilt wound?
Yeah, I'll say. See, what happened? Guilt is that feeling of sorry. Okay. Now, if I, for example, mm, let's take an example. Someone is asking me a question. Okay. I don't know the answer. It can be on a both thing. I don't know the answer. Generally, if I don't know the answer, I say, I'm so sorry. Okay, Ria. Okay. So what generally happens, I say sorry, then I'll come back within some number of hours because I need to not research, I need to read some sort of articles because it's not possible for me also to have all the answers, right? But this sort of individual are that sort of in that spectrum where they don't know the answer, but they'll pretend that they know. मेरे को पता है. That way they manipulate the situation. I had a friend, still now she is my friend but not at that level. She had a chakkar with my cousin brother, like not the one which I was talking but some other cousin brother. Now when I asked her that you can't because my brother is younger to you, and he is 22 or 23, and we are of the age of 31, 32. So I won't allow that because they are my brother. So I am very strict with every relationship, being my relationship gone out. Okay. Now she was like, no, so sorry, Shraddhanjali, you are misunderstanding. I just texted your brother. I said, for long 2 months, you are not texting my brother. And what she did, she used the power of dark psychology because she was a psychologist. She started saying, no, I don't text. Your brother text me, and then I revert back, and your brother is deleting the messages. So for a couple of seconds, I got confused that it can be. So what she did, she manipulated me at least for a second, but I knew that I knew my brother. So these are those sort of issues, like those sort of child who belong to guilt wound. Okay. So yes, any other questions? Now, yes, Rajushi, tell me.
Ma'am, could you kindly help me with how we can differentiate between neglect wound and rejection wound?
See, in neglect, what happens is a person is like you are neglecting that person, and that person is also neglecting you, for example. But in rejection, what is happened? No, I won't. For example, let me give you an example, it would be much clearer. Like, you are asking me some question, or anyone in the class is asking me a question. I am constantly neglecting. I am not going in that way. I'll come back. The phrase which I am using is I'll come back. But rejection is I'm totally rejecting the fact. Like now, for Ria said something in abundant that about lost child. I did not thought of that, but yeah, she was absolutely right. So I did not neglect her, or I did not reject her. But if I was on that, like I won't say self-sabotaging, but some sort of feeling greater that yeah, I am hosting this class, so whatever I say, people, you all have to listen to me. I would have rejected her version. No, it can't be. হতেই পারে না। আর নেগলেক্ট মিন্স তুমি ডিরেক্ট মানে একদম আউট করে দিচ্ছ, হুট আউট করে দিচ্ছ। বাট রিজেক্টে কি হচ্ছে, তুমি জানো দ্যাট দ্য পার্সন ইজ টেলিং ইউ ট্রুথ, অর এটা একটা ভালো ওয়ে আছে, বাট তুমি রিজেক্ট করে দিচ্ছ জাস্ট টু প্রুভ ইয়োর সেলফ যে তুমি বড়। নেগলেক্টে ওটা হয় না। নেগলেক্ট ইজ সামথিং ওয়্যার ইউ আর নেগলেক্টিং, একদম পাতি ভাষায় নেগলেক্ট করে দিচ্ছ, উচ্চাই করে দিচ্ছ। বাট রিজেকশনে তোমাকে নিজেকে বড় দেখিয়ে তুমি অন্যকে ডাউন করছো।
ম্যাম বুঝতে পারলাম না।
বুঝতে পারলে না, ওকে। সো এভরিওয়ান, আই এম এক্সপ্লেনিং হার ইন বেঙ্গলি, প্লিজ ডোন্ট কনফিউজ, ওকে। নেগলেক্টে কি হচ্ছে, ধরো ফর অ্যান এক্সাম্পল, তুমি আমাকে কিছু কোয়েশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করছো, ঠিক আছে। এবার হতে পারে আমি কোয়েশ্চেনটা জানি, ঠিক আছে, আমি আনসার দিয়ে দিচ্ছি। বাট আমি যদি নেগলেক্ট, আমি ধরো রিজেক্ট করছি তোমাকে, আমি ধরো রিজেকশন বন্ডে আছি, আমি তোমাকে কি বলবো, না রাজস্বী তুমি এটা ভুল বলছো, এটা কিন্তু হতেই পারে না, আমি আরো জাস্টিফিকেশন দিয়ে যাবো আমার থট প্রসেসে। তুমি জানো যে আমি কিন্তু ভুল বলছি, বাট আমি কিন্তু তোমাকে বড় দেখানোর জন্য, নিজেকে হামবড়াই দেখানোর জন্য যে আমি ভুল বলতে পারি না, তুমি ভুল বলছো রাজস্বী। এটা হচ্ছে রিজেক্ট, মানে একদম পাতি ভাষা, আমি তোমার ওপিনিয়নটা না শুনেই রিজেক্ট করে দিচ্ছি। ঠিক আছে? আর নেগলেক্টে কি হচ্ছে, আমি শুনছি, আমি শুনছি না যে তা না, বাট আমি আমার কথাটাকে বিশ্বাস করছি না, আমি তোমাকে নেগলেক্ট করছি। তো কি বলছে, বাট ভাবতে তো, যা ভা বলছে বলতে দে। বাট রিজেকশনে কিন্তু আমি তোমার সাথে যুক্তিতক্ক খেলে যাচ্ছি। একটা সরু ডিফারেন্স নেগলেক্ট আর রিজেকশনে। আমি রিজেকশন করছি তোমাকে যুক্তিতক্ক দিয়ে, বাট নেগলেক্ট কি বলছে, এইটা থাকছে আমার বিহেভিয়ার। এখন বুঝেছো?
Thank you, ma'am.
ওয়েল,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Yeah, any other questions or should we start with the activity? Okay. Now the taunt wala activity I would be doing with you all so that you all can understand how exactly your taunt would look like. So, sab kaha gaya Ved, Khushbu, Gauri, they are out. Ah, came back. Yeah, start with the taunt wala activity. Now, Khushbu, taunt. Please don't make something, please don't crumble that paper in such a way that you are not being able to write. So I'll show you. Take a piece of paper. It can be a sheet, like a half a sheet also. And it's not possible for all of us to remember all of the taunt we received from everyone. ওই জন্য একটা ছোট piece of paper. And now, okay, those who joined late, like Dr. Tripti came late, I would say, like I got a reply from Dr. David. David sir said that, yeah, you all have to submit your activities, whatever I'm doing in the class, but not all. You can select any three. Any three. And please, this is what I am saying, that please don't write any like personal stuffs over there, because inner child is very subjective and is very personal. So hota hai that you are writing, so if you are thinking you are writing, don't submit that. Make something fresh, give some, yeah, I understand, again in inner child some sort of sad thing would be there, but don't write so much of sad thing that people can make fun out of that. Because the moment you are going to tag me, I have so many healers in my connection, they won't say anything. But there are certain sort of clinical psychologists, again particularly to mention, they would be criticizing. So I don't want your mental health to be hampered along with mine also. So, for that reason, go on a safer side, practice for your sake, and then give all the activities in a very fresh way. Now, if anyone in the 8 p.m. wala batch, someone said me yesterday, Shraddhanjali, the moment you teach cord cutting, I am going to give the video of cord cutting. You also can give a video of cord cutting for 30 seconds, 1 minute, I won't mind. But cord cutting is very, very personal. Mark my word, cord cutting is very, very personal, whatever I showed you. I took a very lay example. Now, if someone asks me about my own cord cutting, I did the moment I got my divorce. So, cord cutting is pretty personal. Now, I am very comfortable in talking about my divorce because I had spoken a bit about my divorce in public, and right now I'm very comfortable. But the moment when I went through, I was not at all comfortable. So, if you are thinking of doing a video on cord cutting, because there are many videos of cord cutting in Insta, you can do, because your gradation would be there from David sir, not from me, but from David sir. So, whatever you all do, please make sure it's pretty colorful, because inner child ka matlab hi hai you are presenting or you are using a reparenting structure and you are doing. So you have ample amount of days. Like I did not get a sort the time and date, what within what time span you have to submit, but you can submit it after the course is over. Like even if you are getting the certificate, you are submitting it, I won't mind. Okay? Okay. So I hope you remembered what I explained in taunt wala thing. Crush the paper. जितना क्रश कर सकते हो उतना क्रश करो, and then open the paper. Now I remember I have to give the time limit because Khushbu is there. Yes, perfect. Okay, now just close your eyes and imagine all, not all I won't say, but जो जो मन में आता है Try to recollect all the taunts which have hampered your life. And the age would be till 15 years. Everyone can recall till 15 years whatever taunt you have received, or 18 years maximum, not more than that. Okay? Try to recollect all the taunts, whatever you have received. The moment you are ready, let me know.